Hey guys, this is James and Tim with Tabletop Terrors, and today we have another RPG a Day video for you. Today is 22?
It is, yes. Nope. 23.
I asked Tim because he did that thing where he forgot to pull it up again. It's half my bad because I didn't remind him. But we're doing number 23, which is share one of your best, worst luck stories. So Tim, you mentioned you had something for this, like a worst luck story. I could see this being as a player or as a GM when you don't want your player to know something and they roll really high.
Okay, that's a good one. Mine is a combination bad luck story, bad game master story. Okay,
I suddenly know the story you're going to tell, but I can't wait to hear it again.
So, were you there when me and Richard went to play in that organized play? You were there?
I was there for one of them. I was never in one that I didn't play in, so I don't think I was there. So,
okay.
Oh, no.
I thought I
brought
heard
you
the
guys.
stories.
No, not to that one.
Okay, because
Escape from 10?
No. That was okay.
Okay,
That was
cool.
okay.
Okay.
No. This was...
I don't think I was there for it.
So, essentially, we were at Weepoo.
I think we tried to think of what
It's
what it was called
weekend
last
in
time.
the Principality of Ulick. At the time, it was the RPG.
There were a lot of bathrooms.
It was the what is it called? RPG Net. RPG.
Oh, RPG Net. Yeah, that sounds right.
Something, I don't know. It's the formal RPG group that was before the D&D Adventure series. Anyway, it was you gather in this where we were was a hotel and we were playing and in the Principality of Ulick, you are in the region. So when you're in Florida playing a game in Florida, you're considered in the Principality of Ulick. So the reason why it was called Weekend in the Principality of Ulick is because people drove from Georgia and kind of flew in from different parts of the country to play in this big kind of world event that took place. Well, I rolled up a character. At this point, it was like, I don't even think it was 3.5 yet. I think we were still playing 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons. And I was playing a ranger. And so we were going through this like dungeon delve. And I will never forget this. The dungeon master at the time, just this fire engine red hair, these glasses, and he kept saying this line from a Bush's Bean commercial. And every time it was time for somebody to roll their dice, he'd go, "Roll that beautiful bean footage." Every time. And I was like, oh my God. So...
That's worst luck number one. You got stuck with that guy.
Well, here's the thing. He made no indication that we were fighting a flesh golem with resistances. He made no indication in the description. He made no indication in what the damage looked like. Not even a hint. Not like, you don't appear to be...
your sword cuts into it, but it's almost as though it bounces right off. Like,
or it
resistance.
regenerates. Nothing like that. He goes... Roll that beautiful bean footage. All right, your sword strikes true. Okay. And eventually, we get down to where I have to make a saving throw. Now, here's the thing. This is where it's bad, I think, bad game mastering and bad rolls. I roll a 1.
Can I go ahead and say what he said before you roll?
Sure.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. I can't even say it with the
roll that beautiful bean footage. He did say that. So I roll 1. Okay? It's a reflex save versus some sort of crazy trap in the room or whatever. Which there was no clues to either.
Yeah, you walked into it.
Right. He's like, oh, well, they set a trap for you. And I'm just like, okay.
They set a beautiful bean trap for you.
They did. I'm rolling. I'm doing like the cartoon, like Scrooge McDuck, except my money bin's full of beans. My beanie bin. So what a terrible life that would be if you were rich with beans. Especially because
you're not rich. You have like a week and then they're bad.
Yeah. And I don't imagine they're all the same flavor. I just imagine like they paid that guy from a grocery store. It's like a dude from a Publix, and he's pouring these just big cans just of all different flavors.
So by the time they fill it, the bottom is bad.
Yeah, and I'm like, Bush's had a dark time where they tried a lot of weird flavors. I'm like, nobody wants teriyaki beans.
It's not, yeah.
So...
Not in the Principality of Ulick, at least.
Not in the Principality of Ulick. So I miss the saving throw. So, that was bad luck. Here comes part 2. He then kills the friend I'm with, the guy I brought, who we play D&D together. He kills him, and then makes us roll to see if there are any remains left to be resurrected.
Which I'm like, it's a person. He might have been playing a halfling, but I'm like, but what did he vaporize?
Yeah, and so we're like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, the golem's attack was tremendous, and he's just, I'm like, what? He's basically trying to make the case that we were unresurrectable if we didn't roll well enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, now I want to also point this out. The weekend in the Principality of Ulick was supposed to be Friday night, Saturday, like kind of morning and afternoon, and then Sunday morning and afternoon.
It's like a mini convention.
It
basically.
It's
a
exactly
big
what
world
it was.
event. Everybody, they probably did this in other states.
Yeah, exactly.
At other times, maybe.
So that, yes, and each region was
moved
represented.
around, so yeah.
So all this to say, this is Friday before the sun has gone down. We got off of work, we show up, this is the first session we're playing, and we're maybe 2 hours in. And so the idea of the weekend in the Principality of Ulick is you're supposed to bring your character and play the same character all weekend.
Yeah, you're playing all weekend.
And they tell you, hey, bring a backup, but, and so we did have backups. We had backup characters. However, after we rolled the beautiful Bane footage, and then
1,500 times at this point,
and then he made us roll, and both of us, Richard and I, both rolled like 4s and 3. Like, it was
low.
Terrible.
You just
rolls.
rolled poorly. Yeah.
Funny side story. I later found one of the reasons why is because they were some of the unbalanced
Like
chess
X
dice.
Yeah, where you were just rolling poorly. Yeah,
but. All of that to say, I don't think that the Game Master should have made my remains being found based on one roll for the whole weekend, mind you.
Or just in general. Like, you have the whole weekend, so yeah, you're resurrectable. It's just going to cost you this or that. And your friends have to do something.
I'm not even saying softball me, but I don't think he did a good job of letting us know, like, hey, this creature's more powerful than you. Hey, like,
this phrase doesn't make sense and it's a little lewd, but he didn't any-ball you.
He didn't. No, Serene.
I had to say those words.
So all of that to say, I rolled low, and my remains weren't found. And so we didn't leave in like a huff, but we were like...
Kind of brought down by the whole thing. You're like,
all right.
Oh, this is what the weepoo's going to be.
me and my buddy Richard, we were like, hey, okay, all right, well, we're going to run and get a soda from the lobby. And we kind of like packed up our stuff on the fly. And
it was like...
And then, we looked at each other like, hey, you want to get out of here? Yeah, that was awful.
Just like, yeah, let's... Because even if you got great GMs for the rest of the time... There was a chance you were going to get bad ones. You're like, right. It could be that bad.
Dude, and I get it. Listen, I get it. But I was like, nah. It burnt me just for the weekend. I was like, I'm not.
I know what you mean. You're just like, I don't want to go through more of that. Because it was a whole, yeah.
So that was my bad luck story with roll that beautiful Bane footage. And then on the ride home, we were on I-4, the interstate here. And we were like on our way home. And my buddy Stuart called me. And he's like, hey, man, I'm really sorry. I can't remember the DM's name. It was probably like Ronnie. So Ronnie, why didn't you let me be resurrected, Ronnie? And so, anyway, that's mine. That was kind of a long one.
It was a very long one, but it was good. It's a good one.
It was like 8 minutes. You got anything you want to throw in there? Make this a 20-minute video?
Yeah, let's real quick. I got a 7-minute video I can throw in.
Yeah, you
7-minute video.
Yeah, you do.
I'll tell mine, and sadly...
Tell me, Weepoo.
Because yours reminded me of mine. And this was also happened at one of these, not that one. I wasn't there for that one, but one of these organized play. It was after that one, probably.
I think it was.
But we went to a different organized play where it was just one day. It's still the Principality of Ulick. It was Living Greyhawk, I think, at the time. It was like
something like that.
Adventuring world event. It was basically everybody was doing the same adventures kind of across the U.S., however it worked.
I have my little membership card still.
Oh, yeah.
It's got like a bald wizard, like a scion on it. And it's like, I can't remember what it's called, but go ahead.
RPGA?
If you know what it's called. Yes!
Yeah, I was like, I remember once you said the card, I was like, oh yeah, they used to say RPGA on
the RPGA. So don't comment below. I mean, you can, but don't comment about that. Or you can tell us about your RPGA stories. Go.
So, this was like maybe first or second time ever playing D&D. A lot of fun, but
Ronnie,
the GM, it wasn't Ronnie. I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody. And we were playing with a few people I did know, a few people we didn't. One of them was you, I think. I think you were in this game, or you may have been in another game in the same room because you had played before, so you were playing a different character.
Was this the one with the dagger in the lake?
This is the one with the dagger in the lake.
Basically, it's crazy how you can remember games from decades ago, but
if they're that bad. So basically, it was really cool. It was a really cool adventure, and I remember it. But basically, we get to a point at the end where like there's nowhere else to go. It's like if you're a detective and all the leads are cold, but the GM's like, all right, what do you want to do? And we're kind of like, a few of us, like I said, are brand new to the game. The rest, a few other people have played D&D before, know the rules, but the GM wasn't clear about what we needed to do at all, or didn't give us hints or clues or anything. And he's just kind of like, well, what do you guys want to do? And we're like, all right, I guess we'll go back to, there were a few places we'd been like, I guess we'll go back to like the inn and maybe ask there. And he's like, all right, so you go there. And so eventually, like we're like meandering around. This probably goes on for 10 or 15 minutes.
Which felt like a lot longer.
It really did. I felt like it was like an hour, but I know that it wasn't. And this guy's like, all right, we're going to take a short break. I'm just going to run, he's probably going to the bathroom or something, whatever. And a guy comes over and he goes, bring the dagger to the lake. And we said, what? And he said, you got to release the werewolf spirit. You got to take the lake, or you got to take the dagger and just bring it inside the lake, and that'll end the adventure. And we were like, okay. And so the GM comes back. None of the rest of us moved at the time. The GM comes back and we're kind of like, so who had that dagger we found? Oh, I think you had it. Okay, I think we're gonna go to the lake with it. And still, the GM, Stoneface, is like, okay, you get to the lake.
Right. So you get to the lake, it's gone. You're no. The lake is taking a vacation.
No, and then he's like, and then someone's like, okay, so I'm gonna go into the lake.
Where do lakes vacation? Oh, go ahead.
He's like, all right, you go in the lake. How deep are you in the lake?
I remember this.
Basically, he waited until the person said they were waist deep, so the dagger would have been... Oh, it was just... This person was like... I don't know. I learned a lot of horror stories, so that was worse luck, but probably not worse luck the way they meant it in the style of the question. Like, I rolled 3 ones in a row. It was like... No, I had a really bad experience with a GM, because it was a pre-written adventure, so they had everything they needed to know to maybe give us clues or something, but... And I wonder if we can find those. I want to find that adventure.
Where can we find the RPGA
The old
adventure?
RPGA, Living Greyhawk. I don't know if it was Living Greyhawk, but that sticks in my mind.
I think maybe, but I don't think...
It may have been... We may have gone to... Exactly. We may have gone to some that were Greyhawk, or they talked about it. I don't know.
I think it took place... I don't know. If you're part of the RPGA and you remember this stuff, if you were around, comment below. I really want to know. The adventure I do remember is Escape from 10.
That was the one that I remembered, and that's the story... That was the story I thought was the story of the flesh golem. That was why.
Oh, yeah. No. Very long story short on Escape from 10 is that everyone said, like, oh, that's going to be awesome. It's a hard adventure. It's so cool. And for whatever reason, it was a cakewalk for us. Oh, and we just walked right through it, and it wasn't as cool as everyone said it was.
Yeah, it was just overhyped.
There's a city named 10, but I think it's Tehn.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It sounded way cooler.
And there's a portal at the end. Whatever. This is a long video. But,
so, yeah, that was our...
Yeah, I wouldn't say I've had really bad luck after that. Not that bad. So, check out brigadecon.org. You can... This is an adventure. This is an adventure
this has been
that happens... No, BrigadeCon is a convention that you can... It's an online role-playing game convention on October 19th? 29th?
No, 29th.
October 29th. The first video we do, I always forget. October 29th, and all of the proceeds from BrigadeCon go to Child's Play. So go to brigadecon.org, check it out, read about it, learn about it. People are going to be playing, watching, and running different RPGs for a full day on October 29th. It's going to be great fun.
Really looking forward to it. So... also, comment below. What is your worst luck story? We've been having a lot of really great comments.
Yeah, really
this
good.
Has just been an awesome experience. This is definitely something we're going to try to do each year because the conversation has just been fantastic. So keep interacting. Make sure, if you haven't yet, subscribe so you see these videos and others. But until the next time, may your dice roll high.